Hello, welcome to Word Moment. Today we are looking at working with divine strategy. And we are taking our text from the book of Esther, actually the whole of Esther chapter 4 and 5. For context purposes, Esther was that village girl who became queen. And then Haman wanted to annihilate the Jews for just no reason. She was in a place where she could intercede, but that came with a cost because no one approached the king without being asked to come. She was in such a dicey situation. We see in the book of Esther chapter 4 from verse 15 to 16 that she asked the whole Jews to fast for her. She and her mates went to fast. Where am I going? After that, she approached the king, and the king granted her favor. If I were to be Esther, the moment I got into the presence of the king, I would have pleaded for my life and for the life of my uncle Mordecai and the entire Jews. But guess what this young lady said? He said to the king, if I have found favor in your sight, please come for a banquet tonight. Who does that? Your life is at stake and you're asking the king to come for a party? Well, as if that was not enough, she said that in chapter 5 verse 4. By verse 7, the king had granted her request, like the king went for the banquet. And the king said, Esther, what do you want? Even if it's half of my kingdom, I will give it to you. And this young woman says again, if I have found favor, please come back tomorrow. Who does that? If this lady was not working from a bank that was beyond the natural, she wouldn't do that. She would have taken her chances. But the rest of the story tells us that she was working with divine strategy. She honored the king the first time, the second time, and by the third day when the king arrived again with the arch enemy of the Jews, she had her opportunity, made her case in the most excellent way. We know the rest of the story. Haman was now hanged in the same pole that he had built for Mordecai. And the day that the Jews were meant to be annihilated was the day that they retaliated and got their victory. Why am I telling you all this? When you are faced with a challenge, when you are faced with a situation, do you always feel like, oh, I know what to do. I got this one. Do you still have that recourse to the Holy Spirit? Do you take out time to ask God, how do I go about this? You see, when you fight with divine strategy, you have divine success. You have divine victory. That everyone is doing it in a particular way does not mean you should do it that way. In the days of Esther, she didn't have the Holy Spirit. They didn't have the Holy Spirit. They fasted and prayed. But in our own time, we have the teacher within, the Holy Spirit living inside of us. Do you lean on your own understanding, or do you ask the Holy Spirit, how do I go about this? And listen for his instructions. What could have taken you years, or even what could have taken you a lot of effort and struggles, could just be solved by one tiny instructions. Look at the story now. It doesn't make any logical sense other than there was divine backing in that instruction. I pray that any decision you need to make, you go to the Holy Spirit, and when he gives you that direction, you have the grace to obey. Wishing you a very blessed and lovely week ahead. Shalom. I remain your girl, Dr. Philomena. Kindly share. See you in another video.